Back in the woods for another overnight, this time southeastern Minnesota. It's going to get down to 20 degrees tonight, give or take, which is a perfect opportunity to test out the brand new top quilt from Hang Tight. Let's take a look. What is going down, everyone? Rob here, R. Pelton 1. Thanks for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Today, we're taking a look at a full in-depth review of this brand new top quilt from Hang Tight. Now, I did a first impression unboxing video of this quilt, and I'll post that video right up here, so be sure to check that out. But I am testing this out tonight. It's going to get well below freezing. This is rated to 20 degrees, so I hope I don't freeze my ass off. I was browsing on Facebook like I always do, and there is a hammock hangers flea market Facebook group where a lot of people post things for sale and things they make, you know, stuff like that. A guy named Steve Hazel, hey Steve if you're watching, he makes these top quilts. He has a little shop at home, it's called Hang Tight, and he makes these top quilts and they're called the Heat Seeker. I really like the way it looked. They were priced at 96 bucks. I had a couple of extra things put on here, I'll go over that later, which added a couple more dollars to it, but for about 100 bucks for a 20 degree top quilt, a down top quilt, I thought I'd give it a shot. So I'll post the information to Steve's store down in the description of this video. So if you're interested in trying one of these out and picking one up, contact Steve from that link down there. Now, from what I understand, and I'm not sure if it says it on his Etsy store or anything like that, but I believe these are repurposed Costco quilts. Now, Costco sells like a $20 down quilt, which a lot of people are converting to, you know, homemade DIY underquilts and top quilts, and I believe he uses a few of those, you know, to construct these. And it's the same kind of material. There's even a couple of sections where you can tell it's been seam ripped. So he popped a couple of seams, then obviously sewed some new ones and filled all the baffles. But even with that, the product looks top notch. He might be better served if he just ordered from Ripstop by the roll or something like that. But if this is working for him, Steve, it's looking pretty damn good. Now, as far as the stitching goes, the seams, you know, on the baffles, they're stitched really straight. Look like they're really done very, very well. And I do like how he used the two-tone on the interior, the silver strip down the middle. Maybe adds a little bit more reflection. I'm not sure how much heat that would reflect, but I gotta think it'd help a little bit. Down at the foot box, right where it splits, he did put a little piece of grosgrain to help reinforce that area because there's going to be a lot of tension there. So he did that to strengthen it. It was really nice. Added his own little tag from Hang Tight. It was a cool little logo here. And the foot box is what I really liked. It feels like it's overstuffed, but it's large and it's squared to give you plenty of room for your feet to get all nice and toasty down there. And the actual seam on the foot box measures roughly 25 inches, so just over 2 feet for a big foot box. Gives you plenty of coverage while still allowing you enough space to kind of spread out your feet, spread your legs a little bit. And a couple of things that I had him add to the quilt were these shot corded cinch cords with little cord locks on it. That's just so, you know, I can help cinch down the collar to wrap around my neck so it could really hold in the heat. But in addition to that, I had him add these little plastic snaps. That's just, again, so I can snap it together, make it form a cocoon of warmth without anything escaping up through the head end. They were like a $9 charge for each of those mods, so a total of 18 bucks, you know, in addition to the 96. So I'll see how these mods worked out. I mean, they look pretty standard. I see no reason why they wouldn't work, but I'll let you know tomorrow morning. So now, standard, on the shelf, ready to order, quilts that Steve has. They run 80 inches long by 50 inches wide. I wanted a kind of a custom size to match my hammock gear top quilts. So I got mine only 74 inches long, you know, because I'm short, I'm 5'8", but I got it 56 inches wide. The middle section here is 28 inches. The side panels, the little flaps here, those are 14 inches. It's lofting up really nice. I can already feel the warmth. I don't think I'm going to have trouble being warm tonight. The foot box. The foot box is nice. And that measures 12.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall, high. The weight on this, on my scale, 1 pound 13 ounces or 816 grams, which is not ultra light, but for an economy option like this, you're not using a 900 fill power down or anything. This has a 700 fill power in it, so right in line with that economy option. But for 100 bucks, 110 bucks, I think the value is stellar. You know, I love the fact that there's a lot of cottage vendors starting to make products. You know, they're starting out in their basements or garages and they're moving up into bigger companies. Like Steve Hazel, you know, he's starting small, but if he continues to do what he's doing from the quality I've seen on that quilt, you know, he should be doing pretty good. You know, to follow the likes of UGQ or, you know, Enlightened Equipment or something like that. Those are the bigger name brands out there. But I love the guys who are just getting in there and doing it themselves, figuring it out, and especially coming from a real world perspective on guys that actually use these products to know what should go into them. I don't know the history behind some of the bigger companies, but you know, Steven Hazel, hang tight. You know, he's a backpacker. He's a hammocker. That's why he made these quilts. Climbed in, all snug, in the heat seeker top quilt. The heat's starting to build already, which is really, really nice. When I went to bed, I checked the thermometer. It was 36 degrees, I believe. And it's only about 8 o'clock, so it'll dip down to below freezing, I'm sure. Two things I can tell right away that that may be an issue are the two additions that I had made on the quilt. The snap closures, for some reason, they don't snap together very well. I have to vice grip them to get them to hold a little bit, but even then they don't hold very well. I don't know if it's just a bad snap or what. And the second thing is the drawstrings. They're located at the end channels, so I can feel the little cord locks behind my neck. It would be better if they were just right in the middle here, so I can just draw it up from the middle. And then secondly, the actual shot cord itself is really thin. Like, I have to stretch them a lot. I would prefer those shot cords to be a lot thicker, a lot more robust, so I can really crank down on it to create the seal around my neck. So right now it's a little drafty, but I think we should be all right. We're not going to get real cold tonight, but it's been a good day. Now it's time to go to bed. We'll see you in the morning. And it is morning. It is just after 7 o'clock. I woke up at about 6, got a fire going. It got down to 33 degrees last night, way warmer than I was anticipating. One thing I did notice, on the outside, on the foot end, there are little elastic loops here. There's 2 of them. Now, I'm not sure exactly what they're for, maybe for storage, you know, maybe to hang up at home or something like that. You know, there's not any others on here, so I can't imagine it's to strap it to anything. But yeah, if you know what these little loops are for, I'd be interested in knowing what the actual reason is. But from what I would gather, it's probably just to hang up at home for storage. Kind of a nice little touch. How'd it perform for the first night? There's some pluses and there's some minuses, minor minuses. I just slept in a thin pair of leggings and this fleece hoodie. I slept in that last night. And I was warm. My feet were warm. For this being a 20-degree quilt, I thought I would be hotter. You know, when I'm sleeping, I'm usually either warm, toasty, or hot. And with it being 33 degrees, I thought I would be hot in a 20-degree quilt. I was somewhere in between warm and toasty. So if it got down to actually 20 degrees last night, I think I would have been just warm. You know, enough to sleep, enough to be okay, but I don't think I would have been super comfortable, super toasty. So, like I said, I got to get it out a couple more nights, see how it really performs. But those are my first impressions. But for an economy quilt, I think it is well worth it. It packs down really well. It fills up the bottom of my backpack just fine. So far, I am totally satisfied with my purchase. So Steve, thank you so much for sending this to me and, you know, doing the custom stuff for me. As far as the snap closures go, they actually worked out fine. Once I got it together, they didn't, you know, come apart, you know, any more than a normal snap would. The drawstrings, though, those are a big hit on them. The shot cord is just too thin. It just didn't have enough strength to pull through and really cinch down the collar. I kind of wish they were probably sewn at the ends and then have the shot cord run up the channel to the middle of the top quilt. That way I can just pull one string at my face and have it there. So the shot cord could have been better for how I sleep anyways. If you have any questions on the quilt, feel free to leave those questions, any comments down in the comment section. If you have one of these quilts or one of Hang Tight's under quilts, leave those comments down there as well. I'd be very curious on what your experience and what your impressions of the products are. So far, I think it's doing what it's really designed to do. Like I said, I thought I would have been more toasty, more so than warm, but for what it is, I think it did just fine, especially at the price point. Okay. Just a little quick update. I've been out the last couple of nights on another trip with the Heat Seeker top quilt. Last night got down to 32, but the night before got down to 30. And I was hot. I actually got too hot. I had to take this off. So I'm not sure if my nutrition was off or something. I ate really well on this trip. Maybe I had more fuel to burn. Whereas my original night with this, I don't think I ate as well, so it didn't keep me as warm. But this, I think, is probably every bit a 20-degree top quilt. It's performed amazingly well on this trip. So I thought I'd share, add it into this video before I released it. But I appreciate you stopping by, appreciate you watching. Until next time, get outside. Enjoy some of this. Build a campfire and just get outside and enjoy some nature. But we'll see you on the next one.